Baby's Own Aesop. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Little Peanut. The Fox and the Grapes. This fox has a longing for grapes. He jumps, but the bunch still escapes. So he goes away sour, and 'tis said to this hour declares that he's no taste for grapes. The grapes of disappointment are always sour. The Cock and the Pearl. A rooster, while scratching for grain, found a pearl. He just paused to explain that a jewel's no good for a fowl wanting food, and then kicked it aside with disdain. If he asked bread, will ye give him a stone? The Wolf and the Lamb. A wolf wanting lamb for his dinner growled out, "Lamb, you wronged me, you sinner." Bleated Lamb, "Nay, not true," answered Wolf, "Then 'twas you. Ewe or lamb you will serve for my dinner." Fraud and violence have no scruples. The Wind and the Sun. The wind and the sun had a bet, the wayfarer's cloak which should get. Blew the wind, the cloak clung. Shone the sun, the cloak flung. Showed the sun had the best of it yet. True strength is not bluster. King Log and King Stork. The frogs prayed to Jove for a king, not a log, but a livelier thing. Jove sent them a stork, who did royal work, for he gobbled them up, did their king. Don't have kings. The Frightened Lion. A bullfrog, according to rule, sat a croak in his usual pool, and he laughed in his heart as a lion did start in a fright from the brink like a fool. Imaginary fears are the worst. The Mouse and the Lion. A poor thing the mouse was, and yet, when the lion got caught in a net, all his strength was no use. 'Twas the poor little mouse who nibbled him out of the net. Small causes may produce great results. The Married Mouse. So the mouse had Miss Lion for bride. Very great was his joy and his pride. But it chanced that she put on her husband her foot, and the weight was too much, so he died. One may be too ambitious. Hercules and the Wagoner. When the gods saw the wagoner kneel, crying, "Hercules, lift me my wheel from the mud where 'tis stuck," he laughed, "No such luck. Set your shoulder yourself to the wheel." The gods help those who help themselves. The Lazy Housemaids. 2 maids killed the rooster, whose warning awoke them too soon every morning. But small were their gains, for their mistress took pains to rouse them herself without warning. Laziness is its own punishment. The Snake and the File. A snake in a fix tried a file. For dinner, 'tis not worth your while, said the steel. Don't mistake, I'm accustomed to take. To give's not the way of a file. we may meet our match. The Fox and the Crow. Said sly Fox to the Crow with the cheese, "Let me hear your sweet voice, now do please." And the Crow, being weak, cawed the bit from her beak. "Music charms," said the Fox, "and here's cheese." Beware of flatterers. The Dog in the Manger. A cow sought a mouthful of hay, but a dog in the manger there lay. And he snapped out, "How now?" when most mildly the cow adventured a morsel to prey. Don't be selfish. The Frog and the Bull. Said the Frog, quite puffed up to his eyes, "Was the bull about me as to size?" "Rather bigger, Frog brother." "Puff, puff," said the other. "A frog is a bull if he tries." Brag is not always belief. The Fox and the Crane. You have heard how Sir Fox treated Crane, with soup in a plate when again they dined a long bottle, just suited Crane's throttle, and Sir Fox licked the outside in vain. There are games that two can play at. Horse and Man. When the horse first took man on his back to help him the stag to attack, how little his dread as the enemy fled, man would make him his slave and his hack. Advantages may be dearly bought. The Ass and the Enemy. Get up, let us flee from the foe, said the man, but the Ass said, Why so? Will they double my load, or my blows? Then, by goad, and by stirrup, I've no cause to go. Your reasons are not mine. The Fox and the Mosquitoes. Being plagued with mosquitoes one day, said old Fox, Pray, don't send them away, for a hungrier swarm would work me more harm. I'd rather the full ones should stay. There were politicians in Aesop's time. The Fox and the Lion. The first time the fox had a sight of the lion, he most died of fright. When he next met his eye, Fox felt just a bit shy, but the next quite at ease and polite. Familiarity destroys fear. The Miser and his Gold. He buried his gold in a hole. One saw, and the treasure he stole. Said another, What matter? Don't raise such a clatter. You can still go and sit by the hole. Use alone gives value. The Golden Eggs. A golden egg won every day. That simpleton's goose used to lay. So he killed the poor thing, swifter fortune to bring, and dined off his fortune that day. Greed overreaches itself. The Man that Pleased None. Through the town this good man and his son strove to ride as to please everyone. Self, son, or both tried. Then the ass had a ride, while the world at their efforts poked fun. You cannot hope to please all, don't try. The Oak and the Reeds. Giant Oak in his strength and his scorn, of the winds by the roots was uptorn, but slim reeds at his side the fierce gale did outride, since by bending the burden was born. Bend, not break. The fir and the bramble. The fir tree looked down on the bramble. Poor thing, only able to scramble about on the ground. Just then an axe sound made the fir wish himself but a bramble. Pride of place has its disadvantages. The trees and the woodman. The trees ask of man what he lacks. One bit, just to handle my axe. All he asks well and good, but he cuts down the wood, so well does he handle his axe. Give me an inch, and I'll take an ell. The heart and the vine. A hart by the hunters pursued, safely hid in a vine till he chewed the sweet tender green, and through shaking leaves seen, he was slain by his ingratitude. Spare your benefactors. The man and the snake. In pity he brought the poor snake to be warmed at his fire, a mistake. For the ungrateful thing wife and children would sting. I have known some as bad as the snake. Beware how you entertain traitors. The fox and the mask. A fox with his foot on a mask thus took the fair semblance to task. You're a real handsome face, but what part of your case are your brains in, good sir, let me ask? Masks are the faces of shams. The ass in the lion's skin. What pranks shall I play, thought the ass, in the skin for a lion to pass? But he left one ear out, and hiding, no doubt, lion had on the skin of an ass. Impostors generally forget something. The lion and the statue. On a statue, King Lion dethroned, showing conqueror man, lion frowned. If a lion, you know, had been sculpture, he'd show lion rampant and man on the ground. The story depends on the teller. The boaster. In the house, in the market, the streets, everywhere he was boasting his feats, till one said with a sneer, "Let us see it done here." What so oft done with ease, one repeats deeds, not words. The vain jackdaw. Fine feathers, Jack thought, make fine fowls. I'll be envied of bats and of owls. But the peacock's proud eyes saw through his disguise, and Jack fled the assembly of fowls. Borrowed plumes are soon discovered. The peacock's complaint. The peacock considered it wrong that he had not the nightingale's song. So to Juno he went. She replied, "Be content with thy having, and hold thy fool's tongue. Do not quarrel with nature." The two jars. "Never fear," said the brass to the clay, "of two jars that the flood bore away. Keep you close to my side." But the porcelain replied, "I'll be smashed if beside you I stay. Our friend, our enemy." The two crabs. So awkward, so shambling a gait. Mrs. Crab did her daughter berate, who rejoined, "It is true, I am backward, but you needed lessons in walking quite late. Look at home." Brother and sister. Twin children, the girl, she was plain. The brother was handsome in vain. "Let him brag of his looks," father said. "Mind your books. The best beauty is bred in the brain. Handsome is as handsome does." The fox without a tail. Said fox minus tail in a trap, "My friends, here's a lucky mishap. Give your tails a short lease." But the foxes weren't geese, and none followed the fashion of trap. Yet some fashions have no better reason. The dog and the shadow. His image the dog did not know, or his bones in the pond's painted show. "T'other dog," so he thought, "has got more than he ought." So he snapped, and his dinner saw go. Greed is sometimes caught by its own bait. The crow and the pitcher. How cunning old crow got his drink. When 'twas low in the pitcher, just think. Don't say that he spilled it. With pebbles he filled it, till the water rose up to the brink. Use your wits. The eagle and the crow. The eagle flew off with a lamb. The crow thought to lift an old ram. In his eaglish conceit, the wool tangled his feet, and the shepherd laid hold of the sham. Beware of overrating your powers. The blind doe. A poor half-blind doe, her one eye kept shoreward, all danger to spy. As she fed by the sea, poor innocent, she was shot from a boat passing by. Watch on all sides. The geese and the cranes. The geese joined the cranes in some wheat. All was well till disturbed at their treat. Light-winged the cranes fled, but slow geese, well fed, couldn't rise, and were caught in retreat. Beware of enterprises where the risks are not equal. The trumpeter taken prisoner. A trumpeter prisoner made hoped his life would be spared when he said he'd no part in the fight, but they answered him, "Right. But what of the music you made? Songs may serve a cause as well as swords." Hot and cold. When to warm his cold fingers man blew, and again but to cool the hot stew, simple satyr, unused to man's ways, felt confused when the same mouth blew hot and cold too. Aesop aimed at double dealing. Neither beast nor bird. A beast he would be, or a bird, as might suit, thought the bat, but he erred. When the battle was done, he found that no one would take him for a friend at his word. Between two stools you may come to the ground. The stag in the ox stall. Safe enough lay the poor hunted deer in the ox stall with nothing to fear from the careless-eyed men, till a master came. Then there was no hiding place for the deer. An eye is keen in its own interest. The deer and the lion. From the hounds the swift deer sped away, to his cave, where in past times he lay, well concealed, unaware of a lion crouched there, for a spring that soon made him his prey. Fate can meet as well as follow. The lion in love. Though the lion in love let them draw all his teeth and pare down every claw, he'd no bribe for his pains, for they beat out his brains ere he set on his maiden a paw. Our very means may defeat our ends. The Cat and Venus. Might his cat be a woman, he said. Venus changed her, the couple were wed, but a mouse in her sight metamorphosed her quite, and for bride a cat found he instead. Nature will out. Mice in council. Against cat sat a council of mice. Every mouse came out prompt with advice, and a bell on cat's throat would have met round vote, had the bell hanger not been so nice. The best policy often turns on an if. The Hen and the Fox. The hen roosted high on her perch. Hungry fox, down below on the search, coaxed her hard to descend. She replied, "Most dear friend, I feel more secure on my perch." Beware of interested friendships. The Cat and the Fox. The fox said, "I can play when it fit many wiles that with men make me quits. But my trick's up a tree," said the cat. Safe to see, clever fox hunted out of his wits. Trust to skill rather than wit. The Hare and the Tortoise. 'Twas a race between tortoise and hare. Puss was sure she'd so much time to spare that she lay down to sleep and let old Thick Shell creep to the winning post first. You may stare. Persistence beats impulse. The Hares and the Frogs. Timid hares from the trumpeting wind fled as swift as the fear in their mind, till in fright from their fear, from the green sedges near, leaping frogs left their terror behind. Our own are not the only troubles. Porcupine, Snake, and Company. Going shares with the snake's porcupine, said the best of the bargain is mine. Nor would he back down when the snake would disown the agreement his quills made them sign. Hasty partnerships may be repented of. The Bear and the Bees. Their honey I'll have when I please. Who cares for such small things as bees? Said the Bear, but the stings of these very small things left him not very much at his ease. The weakest united may be strong to avenge. The Bundle of Sticks. To his sons who fell out, father spake, "This bundle of sticks you can't break. Take them singly with ease. You may break as you please, so dissension your strength will unmake. Strength is in unity." The Farmer's Treasure. Dig deeply, my sons, through this field. There's a treasure, he died unrevealed. The spot where 'twas laid, they dug as he bade, and the treasure was found in the yield. Productive labor is the only source of wealth. The cock, the ass, and the lion. The ass gave a horrible bray. Cock crowed, lion scampered away. Ass judged he was scared by the bray he so dared to pursue. Lion ate him, they say. Don't take all the credit to yourself. The ass and the lapdog. How master that little dog pets, thinks the ass, and with jealousy frets. So he climbs master's knees, hoping dog-like to please, and a drubbing is all that he gets. Asses must not expect to be fondled. Fortune and the boy. A boy heedless slept by the well. By Dame Fortune awake, truth to tell, said she, hast been drowned. 'Twould have surely been found, this by fortune, not folly, befell. Fortune is not answerable for our want of foresight. The ungrateful wolf. To the wolf from whose throat Dr. Crane drew the bone, his long bill made it plain. He expected his fee, snarled wolf. Fiddly-dee, be thankful your head's out again. Some characters have no sense of obligation. The fisherman and the fish. Prayed the fish as the fisherman took him a poor little mite from his hook. Let me go, I'm so small, he replied. Not at all, you're the biggest perhaps in the brook. A little certainty is better than a great chance. The herdsman's vows. A kid vowed to Jove, so might he find his herd, and his herd he did see. Soon of lions the prey, then 'twas, get me away, and a goat of the best take for fee. How often would we mend our wishes? The horse and the ass. Overladen the ass was the horse, wouldn't help, but had time for remorse, when the ass lay dead there, for then he had to bear both the load of the ass and his course. Grudge not help. The ass and the sick lion. Crafty lion, perhaps with the gout, kept his cave, where to solve any doubt many visitors go, but the ass, he said, no. They go in, but I've seen none come out. Reason from result.